Welcome to the podcast that passes poor performance on pop culture. I'm one of your hosts, Darin Duncan, alongside with my best friend, Audie Marsh. We're just a couple of cool cats casually causing some chaos with conversation. We're here to entertain you, not hurt your feelings, so don't blame us. What up?
What's up, man? So, you just getting back?
Yeah, like literally just getting back.
That's awesome.
I walked in the door probably about an hour ago, had to unpack, take a shower. It was rough, dude, because I've been up since 5 p.m. Wednesday,
Jesus Christ.
and it's now 9 p.m. on Friday. I fell asleep in the van on the way home, but it wasn't like a deep sleep, and it wasn't very long. You know what I mean? It's in
Yeah.
a fucking 15-person van filled with 13 fucking people, so it's like it wasn't sleep. It was fucking terrible.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was cold, but it was colder last time. I went 3 years ago and it was 15 degrees. This time it was like
Jesus.
yeah, it was fucking sucked. This
Yeah.
time it was about 40 degrees, but what pissed me off was there was so much rain and that building is so old and leaky.
Yeah.
You're hearing raindrops and like the wind was so crazy. You don't know what's what. You don't know if you're hearing
Right.
a ghost or if you're hearing raindrops or the fucking goddamn plastic that they have over the windows was catching wind and making noise. So it was just this experience wasn't a very good one compared to the other two that I've done.
Right. For the people who are listening, we're talking about Waverly Hills. I know we failed to mention that. We just kind of went into it, but that's
Yeah,
what
it's
we're
all
going to be
right.
talking about this episode. That Missouri State Penitentiary, and then some personal experiences that we've had with ghosts, paranormal. I mean, some people call it ghosts, some people call it paranormal. I think the sophisticated, smart people say paranormal, and the backwoods rednecks like myself say ghost.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, a lot of things are considered paranormal, like UFOs are considered paranormal, aliens, whatever. If you basically can't explain it, I
Yeah,
guess it's sort of paranormal.
I well, I'll tell you a little bit about my experience.
I was gonna ask, like, so first things first, do you believe in ghosts? Do you think they're real?
So I do. Uh, this is a hard one for me to I guess say that. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I believe in ghosts, but I don't believe in the crazy stuff that people say that happens to them.
Okay.
I'm not calling them liars, but like, oh, the ghost picked this up and threw it at my face type of stuff, like the crazy stories,
Right.
stuff like
And
that.
there are crazy stories out there, so
Oh, absolutely.
you gotta
And
weed through all the bullshit.
yeah, and like my experiences was more or less sounds, presence, that feeling you get. And then
Right.
on some of my hunts was the devices catching stuff, it plays like right into what you're doing. You're like, yeah, this is real. Like I'm asking this question and the freaking thing is coming back, like giving me an answer, not for people who don't paranormal hunt or do any of that stuff. It's not like you're gonna have a full blown conversation with them. I've never had a full like, hey, my name's Dan and I was in World War II. Uh, the stuff that I've experienced was like just an open ended question, like, I don't know, how long you been here, something simple that they can
Right.
ask that you could pick up. So paint the picture for the people who are listening if they've never done it. That's generally how I've experienced it. But
Yeah.
when when I went to the Missouri State Penitentiary, which was full of paranormal activity, just from being there and being in the presence of that place, you could feel it. You got, maybe it's your mind also playing a little fuckery with you, like, yeah, like there's something there. You know how your mind's very powerful. So, you know, your mind's playing with you, like you want to see them, you want to hear them, so you're like keening in, but the sense never goes away. You've just got that sense of something bearing down on you as you're walking through this penitentiary, and then you've got your devices, and when you start asking the questions. But my experiences was, and I have the video on YouTube. um I didn't like visually catch the shadow down in the basement, but on the video, after like 4 hours of editing and just going back through, because that's what you gotta do as a paranormal activity, as a hunter. You gotta take your stuff, go back to the lab, and you sit there and you just listen through all that audio. That's what I did, because you
Yeah.
got your recorder. Because at the
And
time, you're not gonna it to me, you don't pick it up during the time it happens, other than your spirit box asking the questions. That's where you're gonna catch it.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, EVPs and shit, you're not gonna hear that with your ear, and, like, it can be a
right.
tedious task when you go back and you gotta go through fucking 6 hours of shit, and it can
Mhm.
suck, especially if nothing's going on. Like, I've never really caught any EVPs ever, but speaking of devices and, like, having a conversation when, like, there's an intelligent response and, like, there's just no way to explain that shit. Like, if you have an EMF detector, like, it detects electromagnetic fields. And yeah, if you fucking set it next to a microwave and turn it on, the thing's gonna go ape shit.
Mhm.
But it shouldn't go ape shit for no reason at all. So last night, for example, the thing wasn't doing anything. And then we gave it to like this little like 13-year-old girl, and then they started interacting with her a little bit, and it would go like from
Yeah.
green to yellow a little bit. I started to get irritated, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what? If you want us to get out of here, make that fucking thing turn red now, and then we'll leave. And it just wham, it went red hard. And it was immediately after I said that. And it's like, that's an intelligent response, man. That's
Right.
something you can't fucking
Well,
explain. That's a
well, that's
direct interaction.
yeah, and that's kind of like how it happened with me. It was me, my buddy, his wife, and Brittany. I'm sitting here doing all this, but the minute Brittany takes over, it's like we're just getting like the red to green. We're just getting all this feedback. But the minute I start asking questions, I don't get shit.
Right? Because you
And I'm
look like a
standing, and
cop.
I'm s- and I'm st-
She's a woman in a prison.
yeah, yeah, right.
They're gonna
Oh
interact
yeah,
with her, you know?
right. Well, there was a one room, and it's on my YouTube channel. The lady that was there was like, "This ghost doesn't like men at all." So all the men like couldn't go in this one cell, but Brittany had the GoPro on and she was recording her device, and the lady was asking, and as the lady's asking these questions, like Lauren, which was another friend that was with us, my buddy's wife, she had one, and the camera was pointing, and you see like three of the devices just at the same time go off the minute she started asking those questions.
That's
So
cool.
I was like, "Oh wow, that's pretty crazy." Uh, and then a lot of the stuff we got out of it was just the spirit box. Like the questions we were asking, it was like it'd come across, yeah, and it said heaven. There's a couple other ones we'd ask because we had a list of who all was the most like the real killers in the prison. Like all the ones that was like executed, the ones that were in there for raping and killing children. Like we had a list and what cell, and we was like, we're going right up to wherever they're at, and we're gonna hit them with it. And the minute Brittany took it, it was like the ghost responded to her, and I was just like, man. And it was an eye opener for me because, uh, I experienced um, when I was maybe 8. I used to stay with my grandmother a lot. My grandmother had a house uh, from like 1902, and uh, my uncle came back from the war, and he ended up killing himself on the back porch of this house they had. And then one of my uncles passed away in a trailer in the backyard of the house, and I think my granddaddy passed away in this house. So this house is like full of like family, generations of like tragic events. And I remember this, and I've always told this story because like it always stuck with me. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 8 years old. I turned 38 yesterday, so this was like 30 years ago. I remember laying in bed with my grandmother, because I stayed with her all the time. Like, my grandmother and I, we were like Bonnie and Clyde. Like, my bond with my grandmother was like no other, you know. She was left-handed, I was left-handed. We watched Little House on the Prairie. We watched uh Green Acres, you know. We like my grandmother taught me some shit and turned me on to a lot of stuff too, you know, that I've tried to pass on to my kids. But anyway, I was remember laying in bed and where the her bedroom was, you go out and there's the living room and then you walk down the hallway. Now, mind you, this is an old Idlewood house, so this house ain't even like 700 square feet. Like, it's a small house. There's the kitchen, and then was like a drawer. I believe Granddaddy used to keep all his tools in, and my grandmother left it like that since he passed away. You know, I think he passed away in like 73. This was like 19 94. I think it was. Yeah. 92. I was 8. So I remember laying there and I hear chains and I hear that drawer opening up and uh I hear the chains come out the drawer and hit the ground. So like at this point I'm 8, so I'm like Bentley's age. I'm not scared of anything and I just lay there and I'm just listening. I was like, as kids it's just like I want to go look at this. That's how I was. And I laid there and I'm listening, and it got closer and closer to the door. And I remember raising up, and my grandmother pushed me back down and was like, "Go back to bed, baby. That's just granddaddy." That has stuck with me my whole life, bro. Like it was like she experienced this on a daily. And sure enough, shit, that next morning there was a thing of chains like in this drawer next to hammers and nails and shit. I was like, "Holy
Damn,
crap!"
that's
Like,
fucking wild. That's really
dude,
cool though.
I will take that to my like, that happened to me. Like, I wish people were there, to experience it too, because it's so real to me, like, you should have been there, and I was
Right.
like, I think I would have been okay until, my mama, that's what I called her, uh, pushed me back down and said, "Go back to bed, baby, that's just granddaddy." I was like, "Nope, I'm going home tomorrow. Mama's gonna come and get my ass. I ain't
Yeah.
coming back to grandmama's for a long time."
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, dude. So that house had an energy around it. There was history. Two of my
Right.
uncles, my granddaddy, all passed away on the property or inside the house. Um, Tragic events. I think it was maybe heart attacks, suicide, stuff like that. Uh, Crazy. And that stuck with me my whole life. And then that's what's kind of like, hey, I can't say that ghosts are not real. Period. But when people telling me shit was thrown at them or they wake up with like cuts on their eyes and like symbols on their foreheads and shit, I can't get
Yeah.
behind that, dude. I
Yeah.
can't
And
do it.
a lot of the TV shows are, I believe some of the stuff they catch, but just sometimes their reaction is a little over dramatic. And I think what I hate is when they catch a EVP and they tell you what it says before even letting you figure it out on your own, because by that time it's ruined for you. Now you're
Yeah.
not going to hear anything else. You're only going to hear what they tell you it says. It's like, let
Yep.
me figure that out on my own first. Um, I've heard pebbles be thrown before. I've never been hit with anything, but we were in the operating room just last night, and there was definitely like a pebble that got tossed and hit the operating table. It was just a tink, a tiny little pebble. Unless they, flicked it. I don't know what they did, but there was definitely something. The body shoot. Do you want me to give a little brief history on Waverly Hills
Yeah.
before?
Yeah. Go
All
ahead.
right, so Waverly Hills Sanatorium, it sits on land that was originally purchased by Major Thompson Hayes in 1883. Major Hayes was in need of a school for his daughters to attend, so he started a one-room schoolhouse that was located on Pages Lane. He hired a woman named Lizzie Lee Harris to teach at the school, and her love for the tiny school, in addition to her fondness for Scott's Waverly novels, prompted her to name the little schoolhouse Waverly School. Major Hayes liked the name and chose to name his property Waverly Hill. The board of tuberculosis hospital kept the name after purchasing the land and opening the sanitarium. So this thing basically started as like a 2-story frame building just for a school. Like this rich guy wanted to build his own school for his own daughters to go to. And like the building was designed to accommodate like 40 to 50 patients. But it started as a school, right? But then when the tuberculosis thing came, it was only like able to fit like 40, 50 people. But tuberculosis was so fucking crazy, they had to expand it. Now this place is like almost 200,000 square feet. It's 5 floors. The wings are ginormous. It's fucking incredible. This place had its own zip code. They raised their own cattle and chicken and even had a pond to have their own fish. Like it was absurd. People who doctors, nurses, things like that, people who went up to Waverly Hills basically had to say goodbye to their families and they weren't coming back because it was so easy to catch it, you
Mm.
know? So doctors got it and died, nurses got it and died. It was just this huge, this crazy epidemic, you know? Um, but they say like around 60,000 people probably died there.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and they think it might be like way more. So there's definitely some shit that goes on, you know. I've been there 3 times. The last time just yesterday was not impressive. Like there a couple of things happen. For example, a dog barked like inside the building, a dog like right behind me and my buddy Matt. This fucking dog barked. And it was just there was no way to explain that. There was no goddamn dogs in the building.
It's
Um
odd.
Me and this other dude, we were walking. I had an Ovilus. I know a listener was commenting on an Ovilus. I was using
Yeah,
one. What an
no doubt.
Ovilus is, it's like a little tiny TV screen that basically has a dictionary inside of it, just tons and tons of words. And the spirits can pick words out of that device and use them to put them up on the screen to communicate with you. Me and this dude were walking down the hallway and we heard a girl go, "Ooh," and then right after that, the Ovilus said, "Weep." And then we heard it again right after, "Ooh." It sounded like a woman, like she was crying, but it was just a
Wow.
weird cry. And like, I couldn't fucking explain that shit either. Um, the body shoot I want to talk about, it's 525-foot tunnel. It's like a 45-degree angle, goes 525 feet down underground. The reason why it was invented, they created this own wing because at the peak of tuberculosis, there was about 24 deaths a day. That's like an average of a death an hour. So they had to build this body chute so they can wheel patients out and keep up morale because they had like this balcony where all the patients would hang out and there's nothing but hearses coming onto the property. And all these people are like, we're next. We're just staring at hearse all day, you know? So they built this whole separate wing to put the bodies in. They'd put a body on a gurney, they'd wheel it down this 525-foot tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel was sit a hearse. They'd load the body up, the hearse would go away. So they basically did it to keep up morale of the patients.
Yeah.
It's a it's cool just to say that you've gone down the body chute, but I've never gotten any activity in there ever, and it is a treacherous walk. It's dangerous as fuck. It's cold, it's wet, and it is a motherfucker to walk all the way down there and walk all the way up. Like your legs and ass and back are on fire from that shit. But
Yeah. Yeah, real quick on this. I've got family members commenting about my grandmother's house.
oh, okay, cool.
Um Marilyn was so my uncle Billy, so my grandmother's son was Uncle Billy. It's his daughter. So when I say this is Marilyn is her name, and her husband said that she said she's seen granddad with his overalls and paint on them at the same place with grandmama too when she spent the night. So and I've had cousins tell their story about this house. Like, uh, it's definitely hot with paranormal activity, and I would love to take my stuff and go over there. It's in Florida.
I was
Uh,
gonna ask, is the house still in the family then?
it's so the land went what is it when you don't pay the taxes on it?
Like
Because it
foreclosure or
yeah,
something?
just because of taxes or something.
Okay.
My Uncle Billy had it and passed away, and then no one ever did anything with it, and the taxes sporadically would get paid, like, once a year, skip a 2 year well, the city got tired of it. I tried to go in
Okay.
and get it, and then there was just I had to get a lawyer, so I tried 2 years ago to go and get the house, but now a girl I went to school with, her mother bought it on one of those auctions at the courthouse,
Yeah.
and I've actually talked to her, and she said she will sell it back to me. But I'm in a position right now, I'm in the army, dude, it's hard to do that, to
Right.
just go back and forth, so eventually, she's giving me her word, she says, if she gets rid of it, I'd be the first person she
She
contacts, so
probably picked it up really cheap too.
oh, she did, it was like $1,800.
I was just gonna say it
Yeah,
was probably right around 2 grand that she
yeah,
paid for it.
and she's still living in the house.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you don't wanna
Yeah,
buy it and then rent it, and you're a landlord
no.
living in Missouri. They're gonna trash your place.
Oh, yeah.
They're not gonna
My
give a shit.
intentions was to just get it back, in the family and have something in my name, who's to say I ever go back to Florida when I'm old, you know what I mean? And
Right,
just retire there. I mean, I don't know if I'd live in the same house. Uh, I don't know. It's one of those things, you know?
right.
Uh, but yeah, that's crazy because I'm not catching the comments. I've got 4 screens up and I had to get on my phone. And
Okay.
yeah, that's cool. It was cool. I went on there. And my mom commented and said, I seen my daddy when my mama died, just as plain as he were real. And she said, "Do you remember that, Audie?" I do remember my mama telling me that. So this house is hot, man. But
That's really
I don't.
neat.
Yeah, yeah. I got
I'd
all
love to
kinds of
check it
family and
out.
stuff.
That'd be awesome if we could go down there and check it out
Yeah, and
sometime.
I'm sure she'd let us. Miss Bishop is her name. I'm sure she'd let us
That'd
do
be
it.
really cool.
But yeah, that's the story behind that house, and I've been trying to get that house back uh, in my possession, just for the simple fact of sentimental value. Not so much I would live in it, but I just want it back in the Marsh
Yeah,
Trant family, you know. But
sure.
yeah, man, it's real. If it wasn't for my mama's house, I probably wouldn't believe in ghosts.
Right.
It all
No, I
started with
get
my
it.
mama. My mama pushing me back down. Hey, don't worry about it. It's just random. I'm gonna fix you some eggs in the morning. Just sit down.
I've always believed in them even as a kid because I was just easily spooked by things. But that last house I lived in was extremely haunted.
Oh
That like
yeah, dude.
my I watched with my own eyes my son get drug out of bed. And like I know that's one of those stories that you're like, when people say shit like that to me, I don't believe it, but I'm not lying to
No,
you.
yeah, I believe it.
Like he was like 4 years old at the time and he got drug halfway out of his bed. He got drugged to the point to where his knees hit the floor and like everything from his waist up was still on his bed, but his knees were on the floor. And I saw it with my own eyeballs, man, when he was sleeping.
That'd piss me
Um,
off.
3 knocks on my back door one time scared the shit out of me. I just so happened to be watching a documentary on Ted Bundy, and then this ghost has got to mess with me and knock on my door. I
Asshole.
knew it wasn't any of my buddies because if they were gonna come over at midnight, they'd have just been like, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm on my way over," or something. They're not just gonna knock, especially on my back door. So my paranoid ass, I grabbed my gun and I sat up all night long. I changed that documentary off real quick and put on something happy. And I sat up and then all night long stayed up. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, dude, my vacuum cleaner got thrown down the stairs.
Dude.
And I got 2 pit bulls and 2 cats. My pit bulls hate the cats. So at my old house, the cats stayed, the whole top stairs was theirs. We had a baby gate at the bottom of the stairs to separate the pit bulls and the cats. There's no way that cat could have knocked over that heavy ass vacuum. If it did, fine. That's one thing. Fine. We'll just say that. It would have fell down the stairs and like slid, maybe tumbled, but there's no way that fucking thing would have went like, skipped the steps and went over that gate and crashed into my kitchen. There's no fucking
Right.
way, like, something threw that vacuum cleaner. I've been hissed at in that house. One time I was
Dude.
drunk and calling it out, and I'm like, "Fucking I'm sick of this bullshit that you're doing in my house," and it went, like, right
No.
behind my ear, dude. It scared the shit out of me. my arms are cold right now thinking about it,
Yeah,
like
man.
going back to that moment.
Yeah, I got chills talking about almost. But no, you
Right.
remember that one time you and I was like 2 in the morning, like you were on your rant about I don't know, you were like singing to me and rapping to me and it was like,
Right.
yeah, you're like, fucking, you come down here, brother. We're gonna fucking and then I'm like, yeah, he's wasted. And then the next one, it was like a whole different dare, and you're like, bro, I played back the last video. Listen to this. I was like, what the fuck's this motherfucker's whispering for? And then I hear you talking, and then it was like an I don't know what it was. It was like a voice in the background,
Yep.
like so clear. And I was like, quit playing, man. And then you sent me like another one like a couple of months later. You're like, I told
Yeah.
you, dude. I told you. And it
Dude,
was
that's
just you
hap
rapping, and then you could hear it. I was like, oh, I was like, dude,
yeah.
I am not coming up there to see you.
That's happened with my buddy Chris Johnson. Like we would do the voice messages and Facebook Messenger back and forth, and I'd go back and listen to them sometimes, and there'd be like full blown conversations that two people are having that I didn't hear.
Yeah,
And then when I'm like, dude, listen to that message again, he's like, what? He heard it too. On my other podcast, House of a Thousand Discourses, on the episode of Velisca Axe Murder House, I picked up two EVPs in that house, dude. Nobody
yeah,
was home. It was just me all by myself. I was doing an episode about Velisca Axe Murder House, and there's a cough in that episode, and that's clearly not me. It's somebody else coughing in the background. And then there was also, as soon as I mentioned Vietnam, there was a whistle in the background. And then as soon as I mentioned the children getting killed with the axe, there was a little kid that whimpered, dude. It was like a like a cry. And that so if anyone wants to go and check it out, the podcast is called House of a Thousand Discourses. The episode is Velisca Axe Murders. And those three things that I mentioned, that's like proof right there of what Audie and I are
yeah,
talking about of
yeah.
having
That
voices in the
that
background.
that house was super evil, and you and I just got to know each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't even know each other a year.
Right.
You know, and like I was like, I know he wouldn't fuck with me like this because you know how we are. You know,
Yeah,
and like
right.
you send me another one like a month later. It's like, bro, fucking told you. And I'm like, dude, you need to get out of that house.
Yeah, dude.
Like, if it's grabbing your kids and
Yeah.
like coming on your podcast without asking,
Right.
that's fucking
He
bullshit
didn't, he didn't
anyway.
pay and shit.
Yeah, it didn't pay you shit. Like, nah, homie, you ain't getting free air for this shit. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, dude.
Come on my shit for clout,
Yeah,
bitch ass
motherfucker.
ghost.
And you know what? People watch this gonna go listen to that one and be like, and he's winning. You know, it's like
Right.
fuck.
Yeah, no shit. There
Yeah.
was another time we had we buy the big giant bags of dog food because I got two pit bulls, and we I cut it open and I always dump it in like that big Tupperware container, you know, like the big ass ones, a big bin. Um, we had a dresser in our kitchen and we just took the bottom like two drawers out and then we would just slide that big bin in underneath it. But there's a little tiny board running under at the very bottom of the dresser because otherwise it'd get all wonky and janky. So that had to be there for support. So if you wanted to pick up that big 40-pound thing of dog food or pull it out, you'd have to lift it up a little bit over that little support thing on the bottom of the dresser and then slide it out and then take the lid off and then get the cup and dump it into the dog bowls. Me and Matt Huff were chilling one time drinking beers in the kitchen, and that fucking thing just went and slid across my kitchen
Mm-mm.
floor, like not crazy far, maybe 2 feet, but it was completely secure underneath that dresser, and there's no way that it would have moved, period, let alone it had to be lifted up over that tiny board running at the very bottom that was used for support. So that's another thing that's just like there's no denying that shit. And Matt Huff will tell you like that shit happened. We saw it with our own fucking eyes that this like 40-pound thing of dog food just slid across the kitchen floor for no reason.
Mm-mm.
And we
So
might have even been talking about the ghost at the time that it happened too. Like, yeah, my fucking house is haunted. And then like moments later, that shit slid. It was like, whoa.
so I'm gonna upload my grandmother's house and photos. I'm gonna show you because I got them on my
All
phone.
right. Cool.
I'm gonna show you, and it's gonna paint you a picture of, you know, oh, it's a haunted house. Oh, that's a typical haunted, but like the history behind it, like if you don't know, uh, the history that surrounds the house, then it's,
Right.
it just looks like an abandoned house. So I'm gonna upload it. I'll show you on here, and then whoever's watching can see it too. But
Yeah, do it.
um, yeah, dude, definitely. So when I come up there, uh, we got to go to that house. Is anybody living in that house? Your old house?
No, it's for sale, and I am not on good terms with the landlord, so I don't think I'll
Ah,
ever be able to go back there.
hey, what do we do this?
Uh,
So I get in contact with the landlord and be like, I wanna come look at the house. I'm interested.
yeah,
I
I
mean, you'll
mean,
show up and you'll be like, well, who fucking invited this asshole?
right,
I'm like, no, he told me about it. He put in a good word for you. Like he says you're like really good.
right.
And we go in there and we just investigate it.
No, that'd be
I'm gonna need
amazing.
a key tonight, sir. I'm gonna look at the house tonight at midnight.
Yeah, just leave the key under that welcome
Yeah.
mat.
I would love to
Yeah,
go there.
I mean, I paid all my rent and everything, but it was just like,
No, you
that
told
house
me that guy was
he was a
he
piece of shit, and the house was
yeah.
falling apart, and, I mean, it was just every door in the house was literally, like, just hanging by a thread on all the hinges, like, it was just a piece of shit house, and
Yeah.
we only expected to live in it for, like, a year, because 'cause we're like, "Oh, we're gonna rent, build our credit, and buy a house," and it's like, it takes longer than a year to build your credit when it sucks. We didn't know that, we were young and stupid, you know?
Oh,
But
dude, credit's a
now we're just
scam
old and
anyway.
stupid. It's a game, and you gotta know how to play it. That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. It's just credits building is a game. You just gotta know how
I
to
think
play
it's a
that shit.
I think it's a scam. You can go so long, so good, and you like miss like one little $30 payment a month because you forgot, and
Right.
then that late fee hits you. That's like minus 30 points, and you're just like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Yeah, I
Right.
think
And
it's
it
a
takes
scam,
forever to get that 30 points back, you
dude.
know?
Yeah, like 5 years.
Right. Straight up. It's like, dude, come on, man. Such bullshit.
Yeah.
We're actually going to Missouri State Prison Friday the 13th of May. So, like, if you wanna talk to work and try to get that day off so you can go, we got the 6-hour. It's like a
Yeah.
6-hour public, I think it's just what you did, like the 6-hour public investigation, it's like $130. I don't think you have to pay, like, until you get there.
I
Um,
what we did, yeah, we did I think the 4 to 6 hour. I think it was like
okay,
$60 a piece.
okay.
Uh,
This
May
is like a
13th.
private.
That's Brittany's birthday. I think the
Okay,
state owns it. I think the state still owns it, or the city.
probably.
The state or the city still own it, but they still, it closed down in 2003. That's not like long ago. I was a senior in 2003.
Right.
This thing opened up in like 1900, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it was like 1900, but 1903. Anyway, so yeah, and it housed killers all the way up to 2003, dude. That's
Wasn't
pretty recent.
there is there the death penalty in Missouri? So were there executions at this
Yeah,
prison?
yeah. So when you
Hell
go
yeah.
and when I go, if I meet you up there, which and you're only like 2 hours away, there's no reason for me to go up there. Uh, when we got to the gas chamber, because that was at the end of it,
Okay.
like the way they did it, man, and it pissed me off is the lights were on, everybody wanted to take a picture in the gas chamber. It was just like so
Right.
much more public activity with the groups because when we got there, you just split like fuck these guys. I'm not staying with them.
Right.
We took our own little people, four of us, and hit the halls. And then towards the end of it, because where the backside where the parking lot is, where you're gonna probably park, and where the gas chamber is down at the bottom of the hill, there's a graveyard underneath that parking lot.
Oh, sweet.
They put a fucking parking lot over the graveyard. So
What a bunch of dicks.
right?
Isn't there a
Yeah,
song like, "Put
fuck
up a parking lot"? It's like, what an
yeah, there's a
asshole.
graveyard there. It's like, you motherfuckers,
Oh,
you
fuck
couldn't at
those
least
guys.
move them. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
fuck them. They were convicted killers anyway.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Or
but
some
yeah,
concrete.
the gas chamber is pretty cool. It's you get a crazy vibe. You're sitting in the seat where this motherfucker, uh, sat. It's eerie. But like as far as activity, there was just so many people around. it was pointless to
Yeah.
pull out any devices there. It was
So, yeah, what we're doing is I think it's like it's not a guided tour or anything. It's a 6-hour, like, private investigation, but it is open to the public. Like, what we did at Waverly Hills, we paid $1,000 and rented the entire building for 8 hours, just us. No one else can come in or out. It's
yeah,
straight up private. But with this is like, there's gonna be people there you don't know. Like, you pay the 130, yeah, you're there for 6 hours. It's not a guided tour. I got the whole place to myself, but there's gonna be other people there who I have no idea who they are or where they're from doing the exact same thing. So it's gonna be a
right. I
little
get it.
annoying for me because I like having a group and being in control. Like, hey, let's fucking break up into teams. Let's do shit like that. And with that, I
Right.
mean, I'm not gonna be able to tell everybody what to do. I don't know. They don't know me, you know. Like,
Well,
last
see
night
what
was
was
pretty
funny.
chaotic because I went with all my friends. I used to be on a paranormal committee when I worked at Chrysler. It was a paranormal research committee, whatever, and, we had rules and all that shit, but with this time, I went with all my homies. So it was like, "Fuck it. Let's just walk around," you know, and we're walking around Waverly Hills, and it got kinda hectic because you're trying to walk down the 4th floor, super creepy quiet, and then, like, 3 of your homies come around the corner, and you're like, "Ah, fuck, like, there's people on here, so that now we gotta jump
Right.
to a different floor," you
Yeah,
know,
it was
and
kind of like that too. It was kind of like that too with the state penitentiary. Uh, it was funny because I had all my equipment. I had I had my IR camera, my infrared. I
yeah.
had my DJI. Like I had this device. It was all on this thing. And I had all my shit like just ready to go. I had my buddies had shit. So they saw us walk in because they kind of when you watch the YouTube video, it's on my channel. I highly suggest you go check it out. We caught a lot of stuff on the spirit box. We caught a
Yeah.
shadowy figure down in the basement. Pretty cool. But as we walked in and they're like, okay, we see that's one group. We'll set y'all as one group. And then like these other groups were like, can we be in this group with him?
He's
I'm
got all
like,
the shit.
no, yeah. I was like, no, motherfucker. Like, I don't want none
Right,
of y'all with me. Like, what I have is we've already got a game plan, and y'all
right.
motherfuckers are gonna fuck it up. But
What
like,
was cool is I had a bunch of equipment and my homegirl had a bunch of equipment, so we had enough to give everybody something and be like, "Go fucking play," you
right.
know, like,
Well,
it was
they
cool.
gave they give you the little cheap meters, the freaking
Oh, EMF detector.
yeah, they give you those. You can rent
That's
them,
cool.
sign them out. So, if you're just an amateur, which I was nowhere near an expert, but I had shit that was a little bit more advanced than the
Right.
freaking, and it worked out in my favor. Uh, but they give it to you. But I had an advanced one. I had the IR, spirit box. Uh, what else did I have? I had something else. It was like a meter. It read something. It read like 3 different things opposed to just the normal. I don't even know. But like I had all this cool shit. Very cool experience. I ended up getting pulled over prior to going there.
No shit.
Yeah. I turned my lights off because we waited and I went around because I had to go. I went got something to eat and I had to piss and the place wasn't open yet. Well, I didn't turn my lights on and this car passed me, flashed me, and I was like, "You're a fucking asshole." I wasn't paying attention because all the street lights, and the next thing I know, this car turns on me and was like, lit me up, and he almost made me late to the little group meeting. I was like, "Fuck, man," you know, taking
That's
his
funny.
time, fucking cops.
So what
But
happens being pulled over, you being a military police officer and you get pulled over for shit? Like, do you tell 'em like, do you give them your military ID or do you like, how do you're like, "Hey, man, I'm a cop too, like, I got shit to do,
well,
maybe," like, does it work like that?
you could be like, some some soldiers are like they show their shit and it's like, "Oh, I'm in the military." Just showing a military ID, they feel like
Right.
they could get out of it. Now we carry IDs that tell that we are an MP, we're a federal law enforcement agent, and I'm never gonna pull that out on a traffic stop. Like, if
No?
I pull that out, I'm gonna look like the biggest douche. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
get it, yeah,
I'm
I
just gonna
get it.
professionally talk this police officer into like not fucking with me. I'll be
Right,
like, give a little bit of professional courtesy.
right.
Um, but I'd be a dickhead and be like, I was probably providing blankets of freedom while you were in high school, bitch. But that probably wouldn't work.
Right. That's
But
amazing.
he let us go. He's just, hey, turn your lights on. But anyway, we were almost late, so we get in, and it's cool, dude. Like, I think you'll like it. I almost think you'll like it better than Waverly Hills. I really do. I
I
think you
hope
will.
so.
I think you will.
Cool.
It's a penitentiary. It's
That's
like
what I'm saying. I bet it's gonna
killers,
be
not
active as hell.
not
And I
like.
can go there and provoke and be an asshole because
Oh,
fuck them.
absolutely.
But,
Yeah,
like,
make sure
these
you got a
people
female with you.
yeah, absolutely, and, like, these people were patients at Waverly Hills,
Yeah,
so, like, you don't have a reason to be mean to them, you just walk around and hope you experience something, but in a
right.
prison, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, fuck faces?" You know?
Yeah. Well, when you
"Scratch
go
me," fucking I'd fuck with them.
yeah, well,
Provoke.
Lauren, the girl that was with us, Lauren, if you watch the video, we're talking and she goes like this, and Brittany, like, looks up, and both of them are like, "Did you just feel that?" And then Lauren was like, "Yeah, it just grabbed me." But I was so drawn into the conversation when I was talking to you in the video, like, I saw it after the fact, but then Lauren, after we got back to the cars, after it was all over, she's like, "You do realize that something touched my arm?" And Brittany's like, "Yeah, I saw it." Like, not the ghost, but she's like, "I saw Lauren, like, do this and felt it."
Right.
I was like, "Why didn't you fucking tell me? I would've put the camera on there, I would've started
Yeah.
busting out all the gadgets." But,
Yeah, right.
uh, there's a section there when you go, it's, like, hot. It's, like, where all the shit went down. The tour is pretty cool. The tour guide, like, she doesn't go with you, but she will give you information like, "Yeah,
Right.
you here, because you dude, when you get there, I think it's like 40,000 acres or some shit. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's fucking huge. Like, when I got there, I was like, "Where the fuck do I start?" But she's
Right.
like, "Alright, here, you wanna go this wing. This wing shut off because of a tornado or something, damaged it." Uh, there's one part of it where you can see shadow figures, all along the sides, and they're like, "It could be this, could be that," but they're like, "It's definitely shadow figures of ghosts." I saw a few of them. The camera, when you get the camera up there, the camera doesn't pick it up. So I was like, "Fuck it, I didn't even waste my time with that shit."
Right.
I went down in the basement where you see that building. I hope I get to go, man. I wanna meet you up there, and we'll knock that
Yeah.
shit out
It's,
together, dude.
Friday the 13th in May, that's when we're
Yeah,
going.
that's Brittany's birthday.
Oh, no shit, May
Yeah,
13th?
yeah,
Badass. Cool.
yeah. My shit went blurry. It's because 'cause I'm moving.
You want to we got a surprise special guest who's had some
Yeah.
paranormal experiences and he's going to hop on for like the last 20 minutes or so of the episode cuz I've been up for since Wednesday. I'm hungry. I want to order a pizza. Audie's not feeling well. So we're going to end this episode early. Um but yeah, we got this cool little
Yeah, let me
surprise
get it
guest
on
that's
here.
our homeboy. I think a lot of people know who he is. It's going to be fun to hear some of his ghost stories.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. Let me get this working here. Excuse me. All right.
Should I let
Getting
him
on.
should I let him know you're sending it?
Yeah, I'm sending it now.
Okay, cool.
Beam on.
Sweet. Yeah,
I
man,
sent it.
it's a hell of an experience. It's in a that Waverly Hills Sanatorium is an intimidating building, man. Like you saw
Yeah, it
my
looks huge.
video. I was trying to go around by myself and I was bitching out.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. I watched. I called you a puss.
I know, I seen it. I was scared. I was legit scared. I'm like, the whole first floor, like I knew my homies were in the break room that is also on the first floor. But then when I went up to the second floor by myself, I didn't want to go any further. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going back downstairs where everybody's at. I kind of
Yes.
wish I went around, but because then maybe I would experience something better than what I did this last time. I don't know if I'm gonna go back there, man. I've been there 3 times. The first 2 times were amazing. Just this last third time was kind of shitty.
Yeah, it happens, man.
But right,
There's
it's
there, there's so many places around me here in Missouri that I've looked up. There's a place. It's like a mansion that's real hot. I'll send you a link later. Just remind me. You pay and you can stay overnight, do an investigation, but apparently it's like full of activity. I've yet to go there. I actually was planning after uh, the penitentiary. I actually had that lined up, but COVID was doing this. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like uh, everything he's in, but he's not showing up. But like everything was like, okay, we're gonna open or we're gonna shut down.
What up, dude?
What's up,
What's
guys?
up?
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Hanging out
Surprise! The special guest is Matt Santoro of Super Bob.
again. It's been a whole week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been awake since like 5 p.m. Wednesday.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like no sleep. I slept a little tiny bit in like this 15-person van, but there was like 13 of us. So like I
Oh,
didn't.
This was the Ghost Facers thing I saw going
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Yeah. I didn't sleep Wednesday night. We had it from Thursday to Friday, but I was so excited I didn't sleep Wednesday night. So, and I got drunk the night before till like 10 in the morning, so that's why I slept till 5 on Wednesday. And then I
Jeez
woke up 5 p.m. Wednesday, and I've been awake ever fucking since.
Christ. Did you go on the Ghost Facers tour, Audie?
No, not him.
No, not this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has been to Missouri State Prison though before, and he investigated that place before.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys
Yeah.
like actively go looking for ghosts?
Oh yeah, I'm going
Yeah,
to Missouri State Prison May 13th.
Am I
this year.
frozen?
Yeah, I think so.
but
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah, I was telling Darin that
You can hear me?
Yep.
Yep. He'll come back in.
Yeah. It'll
I was-
pick up.
Yeah. It'll catch up. I was telling Darin that, I think it's going to be a game changer once he goes to that one because it's a prison. It's like killers. He's going to get some mad activity. Did we lose him completely?
Maybe we might have.
I don't know.
We might have to do a Patreon episode with them.
I just came on my phone. Does
Oh, okay, cool.
that work?
Yeah, it's working way better now.
Hey, look, there's 4 of you.
Oh,
Yeah, there's. Fuck it.
there we go.
So you were telling me the other night that you've seen some ghosts and shit, right,
I
Matt?
have, yeah, and I'm not a get in a van and drive to a different state to find a ghost kind of guy. But yeah, I was telling my wife just a little while ago that you were having me on so I could talk about the time I talked to a ghost, and she looked at me like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I told her the story. Yeah, I was working. It's in the DC area. God, this must have been 20 years ago, probably. I was probably 21. And I'm working in a house, painting this house with my boss, and he was kind of a piece of shit junkie. He was kind of a dick, so I'm standing on a ladder, and 6 feet that way, I like see him out of the corner of my eye. So I'm like talking to him as I'm painting, and Tony's not saying anything. So I'm like, well, he's just being a fucking dick today. He's not saying shit. So I'm still painting. I'm up on a ladder, and I tried talking to him a couple more times because he's right there. Didn't say anything, so I'm like, all right, fuck this guy. So like 10, 15 minutes later, he comes walking in the front door. He was out at fucking lunch. There was nobody in the fucking house. So I'm like, damn, Tony, I was standing here talking to you. I could have swore you were like right there. I could like see you out of the corner of my eye. He was like, so a guy died in that room last week. He had a heart attack.
Holy shit.
I was talking to a motherfucking ghost. I still get goosebumps every time I tell the fucking story. It was a ghost. There was a person there. I could feel him. I could see him in my peripheral vision, like right fucking there. No, fucking ghost.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So like you didn't look dead at him and he looked just like your boss, or you just assumed it was your boss?
I just assumed it was my boss because there was a person right there, like you can feel a person and you can see him in your peripheral vision. And I was, I just assumed, I don't really take my eyes off my work when I work,
Right.
fucking work. So I was just working. I, would never take my eyes off of what I was painting to talk to Tony. We worked together for years. So yeah, I'm just talking to him. No, it wasn't him. It was a fucking ghost. I didn't stay alone in that house. We were there for another 2 weeks. Every time he went out to like the van to get water, I fucking went with him. I didn't stay in that house.
I probably would do the same thing. That's some spooky shit, man.
And then I lived before me and my wife got together. I lived with another girl in Savannah, Georgia. This was, wow, this must have been 10 years ago, actually, when we were just first started playing full time. So we're on the road, at that time, probably 275 days a year. And we lived, you guys ever been to Savannah, Georgia?
No, not me.
That's like Fort Stewart.
Yeah, dude, there's a bunch of, there's a military base somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But Savannah's got like a reputation, like they do ghost tours and shit.
Oh,
it's really old. It's really fucking haunted. I think they claim that it's like number 1 or number 2 most haunted places in the fucking country. And we live, the main street in Savannah, Georgia is called River Street. It's right on the river, and it's got like all these old school Southern like stores and candy shops and all this shit. Well, we lived a half block up in an alley, in an apartment that was in a building that was all like bars and shit. Like, I'd get in bed at 5 a.m. and the music would be blasting from the gay club underneath the apartment. Like it was all clubs. And we lived there, and we used to get locked out all the time. And doors would be locked that you left open, and doors would be open that you left locked. And like, I never thought anything about it. And after we moved, somebody asked her if she ever saw a ghost in Savannah, and like asked us, and I'm like, no, I never saw a fucking ghost, whatever. And she looked at me, she's like, I never said anything because I didn't want to freak you out, but that place was haunted as shit. How do you think we always got locked out? And I was like, oh fuck, man. And it just hit me. I started thinking about it. I was like, all right, yeah, no, I totally fucking get it. I could never fucking find anything. It was haunted as a motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Don't notice.
I didn't want to say nothing to you, but it was haunted too.
Yeah. No,
did your wife believe you about when you said you were talking to your boss as a ghost? Did she believe you?
Oh yeah, because I wouldn't fucking bullshit about that shit.
Right.
It was a fucking ghost. There was a person right there. Yeah, the guy had a heart attack I was painting the entryway, and right over here, the area where I was talking to the person that was there was the living room, and he died in a chair right in the fucking living room the week before we were there. Had a heart attack.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen shadow people and stuff, but I've never quite seen like a full body like that wasn't see-through, you know what I mean? Like what you saw. That's some crazy shit.
There was just a person there,
Right.
Fuck that. I don't go looking for ghosts. Hobbs, chill. I'm an attack dog over here.
It's intimidating as hell, man. Like, I know, like, people don't, if they want to be scared, they'll put on a horror movie. It's like, no, not me. I'm going to pay $1,000 and rent a van and get 13 motherfuckers to drive 6 hours away and shit.
Fuck that. Why you want to be scared, man? Fuck that.
I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's fun though, man. But it's intimidating as hell. It is some scary shit.
Why are you going to find a ghost? You can't even shoot a ghost. You can't do anything.
Right.
So you find an angry ghost.
Right. You're just going to take off running in pitch black and run into a wall and break your nose or chip a tooth.
Fuck that. So
even if the ghosts don't hurt you.
What's that?
I said you're both all about the ghosts and shit?
Yeah, I went all in. I was like, Darin, because it was about a couple years ago. I was like, I'm going to go to the state penitentiary. And I was like, I'm not going to buy no bullshit equipment. And Darin's like, nah, bro. If you've never done it, man, you got to ease into it. So I like dropped like fucking $800 on the equipment. I was like, fuck it, I'm going. So I bought like this big package deal of shit.
Holy shit.
I'll send you a YouTube link on my investigation. I caught some good shit, man. Like, it was well worth the $800 fucking dollars. Okay.
I don't want to watch anything that's going to make me any more fucking paranoid than I am, or I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and shoot the fucking dog.
Yeah, right.
You know? Stay away
Hey,
from
don't
all
blame us.
that. Man,
Yeah,
I
right.
watch Supernatural. That's about as scary as I get.
Oh, the show that's basically X-Files for chicks.
Yeah. That's why I've been calling you ghost facers. You ever watch the show?
No, I have no. I thought that was like a Wu-Tang reference or
Yeah.
something.
No, man. It's these fucking guys on the show that they make fun of, the ghost facers. They go around with the cameras and shit. I'll send
Oh, okay. I've never seen Supernatural. I just make fun of all my guy friends that watch it because I'm like, that shit's X-Files for chicks, man.
it kind of is. It kind of is, actually.
Right.
Now that I think about it.
It's got like two sexy studs that fucking all the chicks drool over and fucking I don't know. I've never seen it.
They're not bad looking. It's got like 15 seasons, you know. I'm all about shows that you can just really not have to fucking jump around. Like 24. You ever watch 24? It's like 20 seasons and 24 episodes. It's a shit.
That's insane.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's something you could just turn your brain off and sit and fucking vegetate and binge watch the shit out of it. I like shit like that.
Hey, Darin, I'm gonna pull up these pictures.
Okay, cool. So,
mind you, when you see these pictures, obviously when I was little and my grandmother lived in it, it looked nothing like this.
Okay.
The house has been sitting for so long now. The lady that purchased it is living in it. It's looking a whole lot better than what you're gonna see. To catch you up, Matt, this is my grandmother's house. Uncle killed himself on the back porch. Uncle died in the backyard. Granddaddy died in the house. I was little. I experienced something, and my grandmother knew about it and basically told me to shut the fuck up and go back to sleep. That's the short story version of it. And I was telling Darin I was going to show him pictures of this, and it's a typical, when you see this, you're like, holy shit, yeah, that's some shit went down in this house. So let me get it pulled up here.
Okay.
Bear with me.
The last house I was telling Audie earlier, the last house I lived in was haunted as shit, dude. I watched my son with my own eyeballs. It sounds unbelievable, but I saw my son get dragged out of his own bed in the last house. It was fucking. It's one of the. It was like the scariest thing I've ever experienced in my life. It's like, what am I going to do to protect my son? There's nothing I can do about it.
Did you leave then and there? Because I would.
No, dude, I had lived in that house for like 5 years.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's a creepy looking house, Audie.
Ain't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is in Florida, Matt. This is the Panhandle.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is in Florida. Okay.
Yeah. So don't judge the Panhandle for this, okay?
Yeah. What part of Florida is that in, Audie?
I've been to the Panhandle. I was already judging it.
So obviously this is the front of the house. This is the backyard.
Zooming
this
in.
House is, they
Man, that's worse than the house on the cover of Eminem's CD.
Yeah,
that's one he grew up in. That looks
house.
Yeah, that's some spooky shit.
Man.
Yeah.
I'd love to spend the night there, man. That'd be awesome.
Why would you do that? Why would you sleep in a fucking haunted house?
Yeah, I think it's cool, man. I think it's real cool.
You couldn't pay me enough fucking money.
I know, that's the fucked up thing is I pay them assholes to let me stay at their places, you know?
Right?
I'd fucking talk to a ghost. I don't ever want to be anywhere near a fucking ghost.
But
it's pretty cool, especially when you have equipment that like goes off with it. It's awesome.
That's just confirming that you should be scared.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's why that shit's there.
Audie, that is a scary looking house.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad, man. When I look at that house, I'm just like, it should have never got to that.
Is that what it looks like now?
Quick story on it. No, it's actually the lady that moved in. The tree's no longer on top of the house. Everything's cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah, she's living in it. But at this state, when you looked at it, this was it sitting for like 10 plus years. and no one was paying the land taxes. I wasn't aware of that, and had I been aware of it, I would have paid the land taxes. So 2 years ago, I jumped on it, went to the county tax office, and they were like, "Yeah, it's too late. It's gonna go up
Dang.
for auction." And I was like, "Well, I'm in Missouri. Like, can you tell me when it's going up for auction? Because I'll drop the money on it, because I know I'd get it for cheap."
Yeah.
This house went for like $1,800. I'm just like,
Wow.
man,
Yeah.
I and the land itself is well worth that because the next road over is a commercial highway. So I'm just like, fuck,
Man.
I could have had a good asset, and I wanted my grandmother's at least the land back in my name. I probably ended up demolishing the house because I couldn't live in that, like,
Mm.
but the land at least, and have something in my name to remember my family with. But I'm gonna get it back. The lady told me she'll sell it to me. So I'll be damned. I'm gonna get that damn house back.
I hope you do.
Yeah,
that would be really cool. A really similar thing happened to a house that I lived in for a little bit when my dad bought this house. I think he knew he was gonna die, and he bought this shitty house in the hood and then left it to me. I didn't want to fucking live in the hood and raise my kids there. I just had a daughter at the time. So I just kind of let it go, let my sister live in it. Like, fuck it. It wasn't worth anything to me. And then eventually, somebody bought it from the city for like $2,000.
Wow.
Like, yeah, dude. But the house was worth 44,000, but I couldn't sell it because not one single realtor would touch it because it was in the hood. They're like, this is what it's worth, but I'm not going to help you sell it. And it's like, well, fuck, what am I supposed to do with it?
That sucks.
That place was haunted as shit too. And I know for a fact it is now because my friend is the one who bought it for $2,000. And my dad and my sister both died in that house. And my cousin died in that house.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, dude. It's fucked up. It's a crazy fucking little house, man. But what's cool about my situation is I can go back anytime I want because my friend lives in there now,
Yeah.
So it's a little different than what Audie's going through with that house.
I would not voluntarily go back to a haunted house. So what do you guys think ghosts are then? You guys got your ghost theories?
I think there's different kinds. Like, I think that there's like intelligent ones that can respond. I think that there's some that are more like residual, where it's like they're not really trapped there. It's just like history repeating itself from like another dimension, kind of, or like astral planes crossing or some shit. But I really don't know if it's like a purgatory stuck between heaven and hell type shit. I don't know about all that.
You believe in heaven and hell?
Not really. I believe in energy that is positive and negative. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be converted. And I think that your soul is a form of energy. And when the body dies, the energy that is your soul converts into another form of energy. Whether it's a positive energy or a negative energy, maybe that's the metaphor that's heaven and hell. The positive energy being heaven, the negative energy being hell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll have a shitty afterlife if you're a shitty asshole. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't believe in the shitty afterlife. Neither of you guys are religious?
Not really.
Not really.
Cool. Me neither.
I mean, it's like whatever.
Yeah, I think ghost is unfinished shit.
Okay.
An energy, a spirit. I feel like it's something they went out the wrong way, so they're trying to get out through what they're dealing with now. I told my wife, I was like, look, if I go before you, we need to come up with a secret code word, kind of like what
Dude,
who did that? It was Houdini.
Harry Houdini. Yeah, he did
a
that
code
shit.
word with his wife, and I was dead serious. I was like, look, if I die, well, you want to know the code word, and only you will know this. So when I come back, I'm gonna, the challenge and password shit. And she was like, she's like, you're fucking crazy. But I said, if you die before me, the password is. So when you start dealing with ghosts and religion, it's one of those things, you're like, I think we're all just some sort of a soul with energy, and it's something
There's
I can't even
scientific
explain.
evidence of that. There's
Dude,
There's
I know,
been
since we're speaking about weird shit, I know a fucking psychic.
really.
Yeah, dude, fucking, well, my dad knows him. I've met him. I try not to talk to him because it creeps me out, man. He wrote a book called, fuck, I forget what it was called, but he's like, I don't know what you guys believe, but I know what I believe. I believe in reincarnation, and I believe that, like you said, energy's not created. It can't just be created from nothing, and it can't just go nowhere. And you know, they've done tests where weighing a body when it dies, it loses X amount.
Like 21 grams.
Yeah, I completely fucking believe in the soul, and I believe that I believe that when you die and you're a soul, you don't really have anything to do. So if you want to stick around and be a dick for 200 years, it doesn't matter, because that's like a second in the drop of the fucking bucket of eternity, so it doesn't matter. So I think some people just hang around and they're dicks, and some people just hang around, and some people just go up and come back and do whatever the fuck they want. But this dude, he wrote a book, and my dad, I don't know how the fuck they met this guy, but his name's Lowell, and he's a psychic. And my dad told me about Lowell all the time. I'm like, yeah, sure, Dad, Lowell's a psychic. Well, one day Lowell is hanging out with my dad and my dad's neighbors, and my dad's neighbor Amanda, really nice lady. She's pregnant at the time, and I forget the exact dates, but the baby was due in like August or something. And she asked Lowell, hey Lowell, what do you see about my baby? And Lowell said, all I can see right now is I see May 7th. Again, I'm not sure of the exact date, but it was a couple months earlier. He says, May 7th, and I see a lot of blood. And they're like, okay, yeah, lots of blood. May 7th, he's off by a couple months. Baby's due in like August, whatever. Sure enough, she goes, something went wrong. She went into labor like 2 or 3 months early. The kid was born in the hospital, and they had to put him on an ECMO machine, which is a machine that ties into your jugulars and pumps all your blood out of your body, filters it, and puts it back in your other jugular. Motherfucker nailed the date. Yeah, the dude, he's fucking psychic, dude. He does psychic readings. He's written a fucking book. Like, I've been around him, and he's like, I try not to talk to him because it just, I don't want to know,
Yeah.
He's fucking
I wouldn't
intense.
either. I bet.
I'll look it up. I'll look up the book. I forget his last name, but you can Google him. He's sold a bunch of fucking books. He tells his story about when he was a kid, like 10 or 11, he started seeing lights around people, and he didn't know what it was. Apparently he can like see people's auras and shit. And he's getting on an elevator with his dad, and he looks on the elevator, and he looks at his dad, and he goes, Dad, none of these people have lights. We can't go on the elevator. And his dad's like, shut up, come on. And Lowell like throws a temper tantrum, refuses to get on the elevator. Elevator doors shut, elevator drops, everybody died. So his dad,
that's for real?
Yeah, for real. So his dad, being religious, thought that he was like some kind of devil baby and beat the tar out of him. So he like repressed.
I don't mean to laugh.
Oh yeah, man. No, like it's fucking brutal. So yeah, the dude's like a fucking psychic.
Man, that is some crazy shit.
Right? Yeah.
I would think the opposite. Like a devil baby, it'd be like, this is a prophet or some shit, like
Lowell's in like he's probably in his late 70s, early 80s now. So that was a long time ago,
Right. And it depends where they're from too. If they're like a Southern Baptist or one of those crazy guys that pray with snakes, they probably would beat the shit out.
There's still all kinds of crazy religious people out there. I'm sure everybody's going to watch me talking about this and fucking hate me because.
But 100 years ago, they'd have tied him to a stick and set his ass on fire.
Right? Fucking witch.
Yeah. Dude, that shit's crazy too. Like your neighbor comes out and like, keep that goddamn cow off my land, and then the cow dies in a week, and they're like, oh, that fucking lady cursed my cow and it died. We gotta fucking set her on fire and shit.
I'd curse my neighbor if I could now. Some fucking asshole a block up the street from me dumped a couch in a drainage ditch in front of my house this morning.
What a piece of shit.
Right? And then he put the matching cushions in his yard on his curb.
I wonder who dropped this couch here.
Yeah. I got home from work at like 9 o'clock, and I threw the couch back over his fucking friend.
Did you for real?
I did, yeah. I put it in my van. I still drive the van we toured in. Put in the van, drove up. It's a block and a half up, and threw it back over his fence. Fucking
That's
dick.
fucking gangster. That's fucking awesome.
First, I cut the fabric off, and I drove up, and I put the fabric up to the cushions, 100% match. Took a photo with my flash in case he calls the cops. Then I took the couch out of my van, threw it over the fence. Fucking asshole. They come try and burn me for being a witch.
First world problems.
Fucking Florida problems, what that is.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's fucking hilarious. Man, I think we're going to end this episode. We're at like an hour and 10. I got to get some food, dude. I haven't ate, and I don't even remember the last time I ate. So I'm going to order a fucking pizza and watch some TV.
Thanks for having me back,
But
guys.
Dad, it was cool, man. I definitely want to have you hop on these things. Like if we talk about aliens or some shit, or if we talk about anything, we're going to do another episode on Florida and all the crazy shit that's happened in Florida. So you should hop back on for that one. And
I never saw an alien, but the guys swore they saw aliens once when we were driving.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get the story from Adam again. Yeah, they saw some shit one night. I was asleep.
All right. Yeah, I'd love to hear it sometime.
Matt, do you believe in aliens?
Fuck yeah, I believe in aliens.
Hell yeah.
How can you not believe in it? There's more fucking planets out there than there are grains of sand on this fucking planet. We used to ask an alien question to profile everybody that traveled with us, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
Like band members or like photographers or touring bands? What?
Everybody that was ever with us for more than a couple days, we'd always ask them the same question. And the question was, you wake up in the middle of the night in your house, you look out your window, and there are motherfucking aliens getting out of a spaceship. What do you do? What do you guys do?
Oh,
I'd probably just watch them in awe and be terrified.
What do you do, Audie?
Yeah, I don't. Me being the kind of person that runs towards shit, if I saw that, I'd be like, they got some shit that would probably incinerate me in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I could catch a bullet. I might take a bullet or two, but I ain't gonna fuck with the aliens.
Yeah. Adam and I, our answer always was, and my answer is still the same to this day. Fucking AK-47 out the window. I'm taking every alien motherfucker out as fast as I can. As fast as I can. And Drew and Curtis and shit were always like, well, I'd go out and talk to them.
Oh,
and I was always like, well, the motherfuckers came here in a ship when in the entirety of human fucking recorded history has the smarter, more technologically advanced civilization not dominated the other fucking civilization.
Exactly.
So I'm taking at least one or two out while the fuck I can. I swear to God, man, I got 3 loaded clips in the AK. I would just start fucking mowing down aliens. Fuck those motherfuckers.
Dude. And if let's say there's only 4 of them and you killed all 4 of them, they're either going to put you in Guantanamo Bay or you're going to be rich because you got 4 dead aliens in an aircraft on your land.
Either I'm alien enemy number 1 and I go first and I don't have to stick around for the apocalypse when they drain us and grind us up into fucking alien food, or I'm fucking rich because I'm now the proud owner of a motherfucking spaceship.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a fucking amazing. Go on tour in that motherfucker.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fucking A. That's too goddamn funny.
Yeah. It was
Jesus.
good.
Well, I can't wait to do an aliens episode now. We got to do another one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to order some fucking food.
All right.
See you guys later.
See you, man.
Bye.
Do we are you gonna hit the outro and we just
man.
peace out now or what?
Yeah. I'm gonna hit it.
All right. If you do end up going to the hospital, let me know. I want to know how you're doing.
All right, man.
Thanks to all the Patreons. Thanks to all the listeners, subscribers. Thank you all so much. We got to get out of here.
Yep.
Peace out.
See you.
Thank you for tuning in to our little Passion Project podcast. Remember, we go live every single Friday night, same damn time, same damn channel. So if you miss it, don't blame us.